Hello, this is Paul from RankWyz. In this video, we will discuss why in my opinion, so many people having problem ranking their sites. The title is a little bit provocative. It's number one reason you can rank your site. Of course, it would be nice to know one single reason, fix this problem, and there you go, you're ranking your sites. But nonetheless, I will share my ideas, my thoughts, and at the end, I will show the data that proves what I'm gonna say. We'll start with the basics, like 3 rules of safe and effective link building is authority, relevant content, and anchor distribution. That's not a, or at least it's just 3 basics, 3 fundamentals. Authority, domain authority, page authority, relevant content, and anchor distribution. This is the cornerstone of the modern SEO and link building. We'll leave authority aside for the sake of this demo, and we'll focus on the relevant content and anchor distribution. They go hand to hand, and they together define the quality of the link that is coming from this specific page to your site. If you go to any SEO course, if you go to any SEO writing, so like there's a lot of recommendation of the anchor distribution. And of course, anchors must be distributed. Their primary keyword, secondary, naked, and there are percentages, like as a general recommendation, like 20%, 25%, 30%. But on top of this, there is probably every week or every other week, there is like one new video that's coming out with someone and just telling that all other distributions are crap and there's a new distribution that actually works. Just listen to me. Of course, it's garbage. The true that the anchor text must be distributed, but let's look at the behind. So like reasons behind anchor distribution. Number one, over optimization penalty exists. This is a reality. Lots of sites fall prey to the over optimization penalty. And number 2 is a need to use our keywords in anchor text. In the old days before Penguin, Google trained like SEO people for a decade that if you want to rank for the best dog training course, you must have as many links with the exact keyword in the anchor. Why? Because that's a technical limitation. This is how they determine that rather the what links is about. Like, I mean, if your link is cheap insurance is not as relevant to your site, so but if your link is best dog training course, so mostly, and you have enough of those links so that you probably will be ranking for the best dog training course. At the beginning it was exact, then it was like started a little bit of variations, but it still was focusing on the anchor text. And this is why these two come together. So now we have over optimization penalty, but basically we want to use keywords in anchor text as much as possible, but no more than that. So using less is dangerous, like it's not effective. Using more, it's even dangerous. So that's why it's much better be safe than sorry. Like you don't want to go over the limit and step into over optimization penalty. But this is what my thoughts are. The search engine determines relevancy by anchor text and the context of the link. So basically the snippet of the text surrounding, like first of all, like there's like several based on the proximity to the link, the text surrounding the link itself. This might be snippet like paragraph, and the complete text of the page. So basically it's coming from 2 sources. Google continues using anchor text, but less and less and more shifting toward the context of the link, basically the relevance of the content. So if you look at in the future, so the target is to eventually stop using anchor text and determine it from all other sources. They still continue using it and it's still working. That's why we have this paradox of the Google using anchor text and Google punishing, penalizing sites for abusing anchor text, because less and less they use actual anchor text and moving toward the context of the page. And this is where it comes into the laser targeted content. The high quality of the content, the less need for any anchor manipulation on the page. So essentially, if you have a very targeted content that Google can tell that this is content is about best dog training class, it doesn't really matter what kind of anchor you use in the anchor text. The less relevant content is, the more you need to complement with the anchor text. So now toward the relevance of the content. And the same SEO courses, of course, targeted discussing the targeted content, but still the perception is, because it's really hard to measure, the perception is that if you take one mashup content, something about dogs, that will be good enough. Like as long as you put your anchor, you link with anchor in. If you take a single article and spin it to like in a million pieces, that will be good enough because it's unique. Or if you order some very cheap content or find a service that provides service somewhat related to animals, that will be good enough. So laser targeted content changed. If before, like several years ago, the little bit relevancy to the niche was enough, nowadays it should be the content that Google likes, like essentially, like, well, let's put it this way. So that's why I put on one side, no, stop using, and yes, start using, like using more. So don't use content that created by simple mashup generators. When the generator that allows you to jump in several keywords, like all related to dogs, and come up with something somewhat related to dog, or all keywords related to hockey and get something related to hockey or sports. Using spinners, that's someone might argue that some spinners some work, but spinners break grammar. Like I don't know any good spinner that doesn't change the text to the point that you don't even need to read it. Like it just one simple glance tell you that something wrong with the text. And this is exactly how word processor highlighted with like the whole sentence with the green, because it's wrong grammar. And it's not a person sitting behind and reading this. Google uses huge database of snippets of the text and appearance of the text, random appearance of the text with this database tells Google that how often, and if it sees a lot of snippets of the text that it never seen in this specific combination, that's a bad quality content. Manual article, like everyone preaches mantra that you have to order manual articles. Of course, if you expect visitors to see the page and you want to kind of polish it up, so like you want to have a human touch to the article. But if you think of someone who just for $3 just get you an article for 500 characters on the topic that they didn't know about, that make no mistake, it's more or less the same syndication, but let's call it human syndication. They go to article directories, get the content, like change the sequence, articles, sentences, and so on, as create and cheap articles. Nothing wrong with that. But when it comes with the combination was getting one article and spin it to death, and all of a sudden you have million unique articles on the dog training, no, that's wrong. First of all, internet full of articles about dog training. Don't expect to surprise Google by one more article about dog training. So it should be something different. So using slightly related topics or same topic for all keywords. Again, so like when you do keyword research, chain them together, the steps you do when you try to promote your content. First of all, you do very careful keyword research, and every course tells you about that. Do careful keyword research, and there are like lots of steps. Like you know all your keywords, at least you have 10, you probably have 100. But then all of a sudden you create all articles on the same topic, dogs, and you think it's good enough because you complement low relevance of the topic or the content with the anchor text. Well, in one one's not completely related to the content is hot linked images. So, and especially it's related when you're ranking your blog networks and hot linked images. Like there's no proof, but it is it's been discussed for years that 100% hot linked images is a very high probability indication of the spammed or automatically promoted property. So yes, what do you want to use in 2015 for the laser targeted content? First of all, mixed variety of sources. Forget about duplicate penalty. Like, I mean, I don't know, nobody ever showed proof, like I haven't seen a proof that duplicate, like that site was penalized for duplicate. So Google ignores the content that it sees the second after it sees the exactly same content. Yeah, there's like it's really hard to find proof that the same content from the same site is ranking equally if they come in from two different pages. But if they come in from two different sites, take the press release. Like you can find, you release your press release, and if it's successful and you actually it was actually distributed to hundreds of sources, search by title. You will see all 100 of them indexed and in the search result. So I'm not saying that you have to now use duplicate content, but stop worrying about uniqueness at any cost. Even in the worst content or the spoon content, uniqueness is not a panacea. So if you don't want to just use duplicate content, use attribution link. Attribution link, like I personally always use attribution link. There's a normal way of quoting someone on the web and use an attribution link. Even more, there is a guideline in the Google that says that in order to avoid content to be treated as duplicate, you have to use attribution link, reference the original source. Include newsworthy content. The algorithm of how the hot and popular content spread over the world. This is what you have to mimic. When there's a the new popular content, the other site is linking to this content or quoting this content. So instead of just continuously pumping in new articles about dog training, just be a little bit more creative. Use lots of media and use a lot of newsworthy content. And it's snippets from news, snippets from press releases, popular content from the popular sites, and again, as I said, you can use attribution link. And now specific for those who promote local sites, geo-targeted sites, you must include local content. Like if you promote someone who does a dog training in Toronto, so not only it should combine the content on the dog training, you should include something that gives Google the idea that it is about local dog training in Toronto. And again, it's easy to include news, media, business listings, or anything that it just indicates that this is article is the content is about the geo-targeted to Toronto specifically, let's say. So this is the use case. I'm going to show you the use case. I was promoting the geo-targeted Web 2 network, 500 something blogs with the second tier. So I created 30 keywords. Content was created with the RankWyz content mill by combining services keywords and the local name of the cities. So basically, if let's say if it's this was electrical services company, so that heated floors Toronto, heated floors another city around Toronto, and so on. All were backlink with the low tier and bookmarking using link profile from all 30 keywords. Keywords were using primary anchor, generic, page title, naked links. So basically there is exact same condition for all keywords, and they were all added to rank tracker. And the result, no single blog post was ranking for the failed topic. So basically, if I'm gonna show you an example, but if system failed to produce relevant content, exactly relevant content for this specific keyword, despite of somewhat relevancy on the content, it was like all content was somewhat relevant, electrical, home improvement, and massive backlinking using those keywords. None of the single post, none of the single blog was ranking for those keywords, while others were ranking, and in many blogs are ranking, and many posts were ranking for other keywords. And in the second part, I show my project in RankWyz, where I was building authority Web2 block network for geo-targeted block network for the couple of electrical, actually it's the same company, a couple of electrical services sites in the Toronto area. You can see that there are two sites. There are there's a tier 2 network. This is the one I was trying to rank, so before I will do any backlink into the major sites. And there's a tier 3 network where I was backlinking tier 2, and I was using shared network bookmarking. This is detailed for those who are familiar with the RankWyz, but overall this is the complete setup. And the first stage was to do a warm-up, and then I split them in a staging in a third tier network, and I set up backlinking. And again, my target for the beginning was to build authority for this network. This is network I'm going to be using to backlink to my client sites. I can hear this all over and over again. Statement that you can't use nowadays Web2 sites to directly link to your site. Of course you can't. What you can do is to take Web2 sites and hammer with them over and over with the link to your site until they suspended. That's what you can do. But the advantage of having the service that can do those sites in bulk is you build your network, you raise an authority to the point when you think it's just safe and relevant, and of course blogs must be indexed and might have some metrics that tells you that it is a good site, and then you post a couple links to your site. And then you go to the next step of building a new network, and again pointing to the site. And after you build your links, might be once in a while you build more links to the main site from the same network, but the main point after that is to continue, is to keep the link to your main site on the homepage, effectively on the last post, and continue building backlinks to this website. But again, this network. But again, this is a different. This is the setup of the system. And as I said, I came to the conclusion about I'm about to share by accident. For the content, I was using RankWyz content mill. I'm gonna show it. You can tell that it's been posted a lot of content created by the content mill, and it was created from the topics. The intersection of topics that in the first list represent services. It's spotlights, recessed lighting, LED pod lights, ceiling lights, heated floors, and so on. It's all together 10. And 3 cities, Toronto and 2 nearby cities that the company provided services to. So if I go to the template, you can see that instead of one mashup or one uploaded article, I used a lot of sources. There are images for services, images for cities. You can see that there is upload to shared image hosting option checked in. This is the one I use in the presentation. As far as I know, that no other service provider has this option, and it's critical. Like, imagine how people are paranoid on when they spin the one single article to trying to make it unique, and at the same time they use the same image linking to someone's site all over the place. So like, you post this article 500 times and use the major footprint because you use the image that link into the same page. It's more or less same article, just even if it's spun and it's using the same images. Of course, it's not a determinant footprint, but it is a footprint. So when RankWyz upload image on the shared image hosting, so it creates every time new copy. Of course, Google knows this is not you've seen this image before, but so we do resizing, we do applying filters, and essentially it is a different image for every time, and it's not in any way hot link to the site where we grab the image. But again, back to the main topic, you can see syndicated content, you can see news grabbed from the Google News and social for the local cities, and so on. So if I go to overview, this is how the typical articles will look like. You can see that they created from two topics: spotlights in Toronto, for example. Spotlights, Toronto news, Toronto video, and another spotlight content. Heated floors, Toronto. You can see the title includes both heated floors and Toronto. There's content about an image about heated floor. There is a news snippet with the attribution link back to where the source was taken from, and there is a news from Toronto that is relevant, that's newsworthy in the Google eyes, because we take it from the Google News. Like any site that in Google News is by definition is a authority site. So basically, once the Google published the site, so we posted the proof that yeah, this content was good, and we just show the snippet of the content in our on our blog, so and so on. Now I'm going back to the topics, and I show the one single problem that I didn't notice at the beginning that led me to the conclusion I'm about to make. While system created the content for all topics, spotlights, light spotlights, the appliance hookup failed to collect the content and it was disabled. So essentially for the 10 multiplied by 3, essentially for the except of the like out of the 10 services, the content was created only for 9. So there's no content that is specifically targeted by the content, not by backlinking without appliance hookup. So all those blogs were backlink using link profile, where you can see as a primary keyword all 30 keywords. So, and of course, and the combination, like indeed it's 72, because it's in combination of the service Toronto, service city, and city service. So you can see that recessed light in Toronto and backward. So, and the primary keywords, page titles, and naked links in the 30, like equally distributed. So basically, when I go to the schema, this network was backlink heavily from this network using this link profile, and as a result, it used in the same distribution used Spotlights Toronto Anchor as Appliance Hookup Toronto. And now the results. So if I go to Rank Tracker, you can see that out of 72 keywords, so at least one block is currently ranked like 66 keyword has like 6 keyword have blogs ranking for this, and some of the higher, like you can see that some of them even in the top 10, and some of them are within 100, sometimes it's even lower. But nonetheless, if I look at the non-ranking keywords, you can see that appliance hookups, Mississauga, appliance hookups, Oakville, Mississauga, appliance hookups, and Oakville. So basically all hookups keywords, despite of the heavy backlinking, weren't ranking at all. While if I go to other, like any other keyword, you can see that enough keywords, even this Ceiling Lights Toronto, which is like, I mean, it's all low competition keywords. Let's say this, let's consider this is slightly higher because it's local key. So you can see that several blogs are ranking for this specific keyword. And if I go to stats, so it's still going on. So there are like more, like there's a keyword dance, there are more keywords up than down. So if I look at this network I'm preparing for the building authority to use for backlinking the client side, of course I'm not going to use it only Web 2 sites. Like, I'm not claiming that but I'm sure that this is a huge part of the SEO and link building if you do it right. You can see that I have 500 blogs, 580 blogs, and out of them 490 posts, individual posts, are ranking in Google and 300 in Bing. That's incredible for the local keyword, like for the local results. If I go see, I can see them all over, like first page, second page, and all the way up to the 10th and below pages. And there is no better indication of the authority in the Google eyes but ranking for the appear in the blog on the search result. So if I look at the dynamic group I created, this one is for ranking. You can see that it's just a simple criteria that blog is ranking. Or the second one is ranking in the top. Rank position less than 100. You can see that within a couple of weeks of this promotion, I have almost 160 blogs out of 580 ranking for those local keywords. This is, if you have a question, what is Authority Web 2 blog networks? It is. And at the end, I will go to the site itself. And a couple of days ago, I just did one single post over the group that is ranking of the blog and the blog network. Not all blogs, but, and you can see that's massive, keywords up. If I send the client report, and if you don't see the change, it means that keywords is new. It just new. It appears just our search rank tracker just found it yesterday, like overnight. So you can see that this is on itself as astonishing results that you can use already to show your client results, and altogether with a couple of hours of work using the service like RankWyz. Of course, you have to know like what you're doing and not follow what everyone is saying. So overall, so if I go back to the point of the presentation is, so you have to stop using very generic content and try to complement it with the targeted anchor keywords. Focus on the creating the content that Google likes. And again, so I challenge anyone who uses manual content. Of course, you can create several pieces of manual content, but I challenge anyone to show the similar results in a couple of weeks of ranking 160 Web 2 blogs for the over 60, like 66 keywords. And literally, if I go to the search result, I will see them everywhere on the page. See, they all on the second page, some of them below on the second page, some of them just still growing. So I challenge anyone who claims that you only can use manual content or spoon content to have a similar results to show to rank this. And this is what you need to think of. Just stop thinking about anchor. If it works now, there is definitely just a trend to use it less and less. Just start using start using branding keywords, start using combination. Of course, branding keywords are great. I didn't mention them. Page titles when you do backlinking is great. So basically anything that is just natural for the anchor, but focus on the very targeted keyword to targeted content, page content, and add something that is new on the web, that is new, popular, You can include like on Google News, RSS feeds, media, popular site snippets with attribution links. It's all good example. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will be open to discuss this in our mastermind group in Facebook. Thank you for using RankWyz if you are, and thank you for watching the video.